to come out here on the 9th of April and say, okay, we'll be there. 3 days prior, making that decision to come, and dropping everything,
Yeah.
jumping on a plane, and just coming.
Right.
Not really knowing, what to expect, but knowing that you are well prepared for whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. You know,
Absolutely.
and but looking back on it, of course, it's one of those things that you're just doing, what you're told, basically following the orders of the
Right.
assignment, and
Right.
figuring it out as you go. But it's not it's, hey, this is no light thing.
Yeah.
It's no light thing, because we actually walked into a situation where the restaurant was up and running. I mean, and people were coming, and the food is amazing, but the admin and the management had to be fine tuned, to match the
Right.
food in the kitchen. And
Sure.
that was basically our responsibility, is to get things
Right.
aligned with best practices. And like Glenn had mentioned, you guys don't know anything about the restaurant business, and we don't. But every
You do.
business is business,
Right.
and best
You don't,
practice
but
is
you
best
do.
practice. Huh?
It says you don't, but you do.
You don't, but you do.
Not specific to the restaurant, but like you said,
Yeah.
all those practices are common within businesses.
Relationships,
Yeah.
and ensuring, relationships are there, and smooth flowing relationships, and
Yep.
overcoming and identifying, relationship barriers and obstacles, and communication barriers and obstacles,
And all
and
that.
um, and best practices for any
Sure.
business. And so,
Exactly.
uh, you know, they you know they start their day 6 in the morning, and the actual restaurant, since they were just doing breakfast and lunch, closed at 3, but we're around until 5 and 6.
Right.
But now they're in the position to go to nights, and so they're starting nights. They started nights last Friday,
Oh
with
wow.
a catfish, all you can eat catfish fry,
Wow.
and these seafood bags with the Dungeness crab and the snow crab, and potato and corn and shrimp and sausage, and you know they
Man,
made a ton of money in the 3 hours that they did that, like from 6 to 9. They made
now you're
several
making me hungry,
thousand.
man.
And so this Friday they added surf and turf, New York sirloin, New York
Sweet.
strip rather, New York strip
Wow.
and shrimp as one of the additional plates.
Uh-huh.
And so but the management process and the things that we actually talk about every week, and the things that we actually do real time in our business, has real world application across the board,
Yes,
you
indeed.
know, and just the confidence of us all, like, working the processes that we work, it gives us a different level of confidence towards
Right.
many different things, life, many different things. And just the confidence that we all walk in, with the silent assurance that we know something. We don't ever know everything, but we know something.
You know enough.
We know enough, and there's value in that knowledge. There's
Yep.
value in that knowledge. And of course, it took us, many years to accumulate it and pull it all together. But there's a value in that knowledge that, the world needs. Not
Right.
just in surge, but just in general. Anyhow, so yeah, we haven't we'll be leaving on the 11th of June. And what's nice is that we've come to the place that we feel comfortable leaving, especially Brenda.
Sure.
Brenda has just dove right in there, man, like real time to learn the whole system. They call it Toast, to be able to get in there and to be a host and to be a server and to be a da 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 real time. And to put this whole nother, persona on, a whole nother person on. Because we live a life of, relative ease, retire, travel. And but that's what and this is all of us. That's what lies right underneath based on a cause, where we can gear up to work whatever cause there is, And so the whole nother Brenda. And it's like, oh wow, making it happen, kicking butt, taking no names.
You can add that to a resume now.
Absolutely. They came in with all the leadership management skills, not, I don't know how much on the restaurant side, and they're about to leave as the Gordon Ramsays on the restaurant management turnaround.
You know what? You have hit the nail on the head. It is one of those shows, that they invite somebody to come in. Okay, we need to turn this around. We need to enhance and build for the future, lay a foundation for the future, as we're growing rapidly, all real time. And so, yeah, you hit the nail on the head there, Glenn. But happy birthday, Darlene. She just had a recent birthday.
Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate
Getting
it.
younger and younger.
Luckily, I found.
Yeah, I turned 73 yesterday.
Did you really? What?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Oh my Lord. I should say looking younger and younger.
Thank you.
Oh man. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And
I
to
feel
do
bad now. I thought I was the oldest one on the call.
oh, that's too funny. That is too funny. Oh
Yes,
man.
It just keeps on going. Wow.
yes. Looking forward to August.
Amen.
That's right.
Amen. So give us some advice from your 73 years young that you can share with us of things that have helped you along the way to do the things that you do.
Well, I don't know. I just live day to day and keep the faith and look forward. Be kind to others, treat others as you would have them treat you. And all those good things. I've just gone through life. Everything has not been easy, but I just keep strolling on. Strolling on. Back to you.
That's good. That's good. That's good because that's the essence of life. You just keep strolling on. You take on all takers. And you just keep strolling on.
Yes, you take one day at a time. It's never too late for anything. Like I just purchased my first home at
Wow.
72, and I've been here
Whoa.
about four months, and I'm enjoying it, trying to get everything in order. It's a brand new home. There's not much to do, but I'm just taking it. God has my plans, and as I go each day, I know He's guiding me. So
That is so awesome and so cool. Well, congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Good for
That's
you.
it's no small thing, to get of age and to be healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Yes.
Those are decisions that are made smart decisions that are made along the way. Some we have control of, some we stroll with, but none of them, take us down or take us back. But those are decisions that are made along the way to get to where, like you are. You think about all the decisions, right, that had to be made to get to where you are.
And there are
Looking
some
back.
decisions that I thought I was making that were right for me and found out they were not for me. But, I just sat back and thought, I just need to listen. And I listen and I get that feeling, and I know that then that I am making the right step, not making it on my own, listening. Because he does talk to you. You just have to
Does.
listen.
He does. He does talk to you. You just have to listen. And that's the most profound statement ever, that, he does talk to you, but you just have to listen. And you find out that that was the best path. Of all the paths. I mean, you actually slow down and listen. Let me let these in here. And that's the only way we could have come out here, because who does that? Who drops everything and says, okay, let's go out and, like like Lynn said, what, restaurant recover or something? Who does that? I mean, even people who are qualified think twice about doing that. But when you slow down, like you're saying, Darlene, and you listen, you go, oh, okay, because you know that there's provision in there, and that there's something there that you have to search out to find out, what it is. Most people don't take advantage. Is it because they don't listen and have the courage to follow instructions? Why do most people miss that?
Rick, on that note right there, I think sometimes, I've seen it in myself also, but sometimes I think people overthink. They just overthink life. Instead of
Mm,
saying, okay, I believe in this, I'm going to take the step. Darlene still had dreams. I love that. You are the bright, shining example. And somebody, that's called a clue. She did not give up on her dreams of owning a home. That speaks volumes. Because a lot of people say, oh, I'm too old. Why am I doing this? Why would I go through all this? Because she wanted to live in her home. And she went for it and kept on strolling. And I think sometimes people are so hung up with, well, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that's going to work. Oh, would that work for me? Instead of just saying, you know what? The same thing that happened when the opportunity came in front of us. We didn't know everything about the travel industry. We didn't know everything about a company, but we saw that vision. We agreed with the vision and we said yes and got started. And because of that, yes, hundreds and thousands of lives. I'm telling you, hundreds and thousands of lives, even in the past few days. I'm going to read this pastor that we met a few days ago. If you get yourself out of the way, he will lead God and direct you if you're listening. Because sometimes opportunities come and you don't show up. The opportunities came to your door and you didn't show up. Well, we showed up. And you know what this pastor, he told us, he said, success is not a miracle. It is planned. Anybody here? You got to take the step. When the opportunity shows up, we may not know everything about it, but are you willing to take the step and keep going? Because there are people in the room with you. You're not alone. And there may be a FEAR. I'm not even gonna speak that out loud because we all have that along the path. But is that going to stop us? No. Are we gonna press through life? Yes. Are we gonna continue pressing through life? Yes. Somebody gonna have to get MAD, as you always hear in our company. Get mad, people. Life has pushed up on us. So you know what I said the other day when I was sitting there in a place that I was having a serious reflection in my life, and I said, I'm mad as hockey sticks up in here. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to win. And I'm gonna bring some
nice.
others. I'm gonna bring some others with me. That's what we're gonna do. In the face of obstacles, we're not sitting down. Oh, you thought we were gonna sit down? You is a lie. We're just getting stronger. Keep going. Don't give up.
That's awesome. Hey, Ron, looking
Good.
good. Looking marvelous. So Glenn and Chantel, you guys was on Delby's call, and Glenn, you posted some pretty good information. Can you share a little bit about Delby's call and what he was talking about with us, and the vision, and that other slide that you put up? The perfect contact.
Yeah, give me a moment to get
Okay,
over
while
there. I'm
he's doing that,
multitasking.
yeah, Ron, we was just saying that that we're still here in Page, Arizona. We actually do have a set date of departure, June 11th, and so we'll be here another couple of weeks, and wrapping up and putting things in place and processes and procedures in place. And it has really been a blessing, and man, a major blessing. And but back to you, Glenn, if you're ready, or Chantel.
Hey, good morning, Rick. Better late than never.
Hey, good morning. Always a pleasure, man. Chris, always good to hear your voice.
I do what I can. At least somebody enjoys it.
Well,
Yes.
that's all. That's enough.
I'm just messing.
That is enough.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to start a little. I don't know about anybody else right now, but anytime we get in the presence of Delby Santiago, I'm telling you what, I'm excited. The possibilities of what we have in our hand it's greater than we could imagine. It's greater than what we could imagine. And every time we get on there, he shows us a couple of extra slides. And last night was one of those nights. Woo! When I tell you the limitless income that is in our hands in that power line, you're not hearing me. It's greater than you could imagine. Glenn, take it away.
Awesome. That's good.
Someone asked on the call, her cell phone died right when he got into the how you can become a millionaire portion. And she came back on and said, my phone died. Can you take a screenshot, or can you share back with me what I missed? You were talking about how to become a millionaire. And he said, well, I guess you don't get to become a millionaire because because we can't do that. We can't take screenshots. Don't share anything on these calls. This is all personal training. So if you get any of this, even with those slides that I did screenshots last night, I shared them in our messenger page. So those slides are in there. But don't share those with anyone. But it's fantastic information, and it's just a refresher for most of us on this call. But if you go to the Global Expansion Team Messenger, I posted those slides that he gave on how to qualify the people on your list, was one of them, and it walks you through how you rate people, how you rate them, how you approach them. You know, it's good information if you want success in your recruiting. And then the vision, where the team is going, and the vision, I put that on there as well. But he started out by saying, by looking at the coffee industry, it was $200 billion annual. And, you know, we got these slides. We've been sharing, we've been pushing this out there for years now.
It's true.
Who's listening? We did these presentations. Rick put this thing together. He trained us. We all learned together. And it just shows you what's in our hands. $200 billion. What's that? We're in a $10 trillion industry.
Yeah.
And you can add all the rest of those up, and they don't even come close to what we have our hands on. And the sooner people wake up with that, and I'm gonna tell you what, it's going down right now. I mean, it's going up. It's happening right now. Chantel has always seen that model since it was shared with us by Nick Pagano of the 25 model. You want to talk about that, Chantel?
Wow, incredible. Now we're talking years ago, and I sent a few people this morning. A little clip from my grandson. If you can believe, there's something about belief.
Yes.
Because belief is not just a word, it's an action. And it takes you beyond yourself. When we went to Portland and we sat in that room with now Ambassador, see, everything's still moving. Now Ambassador Nick Pagano, and he was breaking that down, and I was writing these notes. And I'm telling you, a light bulb went on in my mind. I said, ooh, what? You telling me with 20, if you get this and activate it, it works. And now we're beyond that. He said what he does with his people is they pay it forward. First of all, he said, I don't look for people that's not looking for me. They have the money and you'll see some of that in the qualifications of what our VP gave us. They have the money in hand. They're looking for this. Travel. They are traveling. He said, if you take 25 people and they pay that forward and they bring 25, you're sitting at $1 million. This was years ago. Years ago. What the thing that's getting me right now, because I was listening to him last night and something was just clicking in me like, you got to really believe this is for you. You have to believe beyond your circumstances of life, beyond your pain, beyond the no's. Because if you see what I'm wearing right now, I have on the Comma Club t-shirt, right? That is the call that's been, that's the call that's been put. That's the play that's been called in our company right now, real time. This is what's moving us forward in this company. Coach Lord Tomer, our personal coach, he coached us. And he has always told us nothing's new under the sun. He said, keep doing what you're doing. It's the same process. It's the very same process. Take them to team builder. 5 people. Take the 2. 3 people. Team builder. Receive your $500 bonus. Step number 1. Dr. Coakley said, and keep doing that. And they said, what do you do next, Dr. Coakley? He said, and take them to team builder. And take the next one to team builder. That's the process. That's it. After that, the next 7 in your team gets you this t-shirt for the first time in your life. And own and own and own. If you can believe it and receive it for yourself, it's possible. It's possible. We got to take the step, though. It is a step. That's all it is. He called to play last night. He said, look, you need to be at this convention. It is important for you to show up. And Jeannie gave a huge shout out. She says, I don't think you kind of get what's happening right now. We are being prepared for what is and what's coming. But if you're not in the room, she said everybody in this company should be on this call tonight. And circumstances in life happen, whatever. Wednesday night is our church day, right? You know what we do? We put that on hold and we go back and listen to it. This is that important. You know why? Because the church I'm sitting in needs this funding that we're bringing.
True. It's true.
You hear what I'm saying? We're bringing what they need. So I can go sit over here for an hour, but I am the word, so I don't have to sit here for an hour. I'm just saying, people, come on. We have to do a shift in the set. If I'm going to help my community, my family, and the mission assignment he's given us, we got to show up. And he pushed on us hard on that thing last night. If I show up, you got to show up. We're talking about the VP of the company.
It's true.
Back at you, Rick.
But you know what? Nick
That's
Pagano, he got 25 people. He got people that were already doing this, people that could afford to do it. And you know what? They paid the monthly fee a year in advance. Okay, now they just did it. Don't worry about it. Pay it, get it over with. And he wound up getting a bonus every week, $1,000 bonus every week for 2.5 years. So the first thing we talked about was in your recruiting and how to qualify those people. So you go to the messenger page and that slide is on there and it walks you through it. It's a chart. The biggest thing I saw was the vision, and he covered some of the largest companies in various industries segments. One of them was L'Oreal, and I think they're in the cosmetic, but L'Oreal was the largest. L'Oreal owned 12% of the market, of 12% of a $1.2 trillion company. Well, no, if Surge captures just 12% of the market as L'Oreal did with the cosmetics, Surge would be a $1.2 trillion company. The next example he gave, if Surge captures only 0.5% of the market, let me see, which industry is this? Of the travel industry, if Surge captures just 0.5% of the travel industry, guess what? $50 billion company we would be. That's 0.5%.
Which
We
makes
would
us
be
number one.
by far the largest travel company in the world.
That makes us number one. That is the decision we're talking about. And how urgent, and Coach Arlen was literally screaming at the top of her lungs. She says, and she's in her 70s too. This is urgent. We can't sit here like, but we could, but you know, it's a decision on each person and say, well, I have all the time in the world. We have the moment right here today to make a decision that is going to literally shift and set generations up for their life. For life. That's what Juliet already did. Who could have imagined a woman that was sleeping in her car she was working, and she was working 60 hours a week, sleeping. She made a decision for the quality of life for her children, that she was going to not have the house and sleep in the car so her children could get everything they needed, and went beyond that. And her generations are set for life because of a decision she made and kept making. A lady that was sleeping in her car, who was the most wonderful person we have ever met, and a giver. And all she says when she meets you is, how can I serve you? What can I do to help you? Juliet St. John over here in Africa, climbing mountains because she decided to pay the price so she could live at every level of life that she decided, and many more people could do the same. Back to you.
Back to you, Rick.
I'm gonna pick. Can I piggyback real quick, Chantel? Sorry. One thing on Juliet St. John. That saint deserves to be in her name. You get to know that woman, and she truly is a saint. You know, like she'll do anything for anybody, anytime. So I just want to throw that in.
That's good. Good, Ryan.
So Rick, I was able to make it to the training on. I was able to make it to the training on Saturday, and it sounds like Delby did the same presentation, and he also mentioned that the presentation was in our
back office.
It's in our back office, yeah. So look for it there as well. I don't know about the charts that Glenn just talked about, but I know that the recruiting part was certainly there.
Nice. That's good. Good information. Go ahead, Ryan.
Rick, the month that Lynn and I got started in the business, we had gone up to Toronto, and Jill St. John was there for back then we had a little seminar at a hotel, and we get to meet her. That's where I met Chris Coakley also. Anyways, she said to me and gave me a card and said, "You ever want help and you're getting really good?" Because we just got started that week, and she said, "You call me." So I did one day. And we're talking, and she's telling me, you know, how to get started and filling in, extending what you and Brenda were already teaching us. And then she says, "Hey, look, I gotta go. The mules are ready to leave." I said, "What do you mean the mules have got to leave?" She was at the foothill of Mount Everest. She was climbing the mountain. Yet she took time to talk to Lynn and I We're not directly in our organization, but she still took time to give us the points, and that's why we're still here today. And you talk about an organization that cares, and we're here because of all the prayers and lifting up that we've been getting. This is our first time back to leadership in a couple of weeks. I spent some time having some good food at a hospital, but we're doing better now.
You should say you spent some time before the hospital having some good food on a cruise.
That's true. We did. We were down in the Caribbean when Turks and Caicos, and we honored Captain Len Kane, the original Top Gun. So a group of people and Carnival Cruise that recognized him during the Veterans Salute. He spent the whole afternoon on the stage talking about what it means to be kind and extend yourself and make a difference in this world.
Oh man, that's awesome. And eating guy burgers.
Yeah, Guy Burgers, filet mignon, baked Alaska. Yeah, every night we had something great. Great entertainment. It was
Oh,
wonderful.
that's awesome, Ron. So good to see you and of course Linda as well. Yeah, this great update there, Chantel and Glenn. You're right. There's an urgency in this. And but a person can only move, and you said it, Chantel, belief is action. A person can only move as much as they believe and in the direction and that they believe and with the force that they believe. And a lot of times it really does take, and it may not seem like there's a connection, but there is. It really does take that inside work of belief, affirmations, living in the end, understanding that your inner conversation creates your outer reality. And the outer reality that you see is a shadow of your inner conversation. When you begin to truly understand that those are the dynamics that put you in a place of rest, and that's aggressive, faith-filled, active rest to move forward strategically, to get and accomplish the things that you desire. You know, we've seen so many times that people get just externally excited about something, but they never make the internal adjustment. And so the external excitement doesn't give them the internal motivation to seize the moment. The reason you see Brenda and I so successful in the things that we do, we're doing the inner work, the inner belief. Part of that was coming to Paige with an understanding that we saw what we were going to do before we got here. And it's not just us seeing it. It's like Darlene was saying, the inner voice telling us this is what's going to happen, but I need you to do it so that I can work through you. You got to be there, right? You got to show up to go up. That's how things really work. That's how things really work. And so we've all seen people get so excited and so hyped and so da-da-da-da-da, never understanding that it's an internal decision that you make based on something that nobody can even describe nor motivate you to. It's something that internally you have to say, yes. And then when you say, go ahead.
To make a decision, you have choices. You make choices and decisions. And whether to move on it or not. I mean, look at your life. Most your lives are a combination of the choices and decisions that you made. If you can be excited if you want. If you never put it in motion, it's not going to happen.
That's true.
Got to put action to the motivation. Find the motivation, whatever motivates you. We call it our why, and then put energy to it and move it towards that direction.
That's powerful.
The partnerships give you the synergy to keep going and the mutual support. Iron sharpens iron. Back to you, Rick.
Wow. You know, so important. Were you going to say something, Chantel?
Oh no, I'm just listening intently and just taking it all in.
You know, that is so important. Iron sharpens iron, and the mutual, you know, agreements that we all have in working together and things that we're doing together, you know, that's what really strengthens us as a unit going forward. It still does come down to the individual saying, you know, why am I asking the question, why am I doing this? You know, what service am I providing? Utilizing my unique gifts, talents, and skills and providing a service. We get paid for the value of the service that we provide into society. And that's why I love what Adrienne does in providing the service that she provides from a nursing perspective. And like you say, volunteering at the church perspective. And it's just helping out people in general with her expertise in nursing. That's how I work Surge. You know, the things that you do, Ron, and helping any and everybody, putting the anniversary programs together at church, and you know, all the different things that you do. You know, the what is it, the February program?
Oh, Valentine's banquet.
Valentine's Day program. You know, and you know, the cookies that Linda makes, and all the things that, you know, that's Surge. Mariano, as you help all of these people in doing any and everything, you know, that's Surge. See, this
Rick?
is, go ahead.
Well, Chantel said about serving and doing things. I got a message on my phone from one of our pastors that was encouraging me and looking forward to me getting better and everything from a stroke, and we're gonna do that. And he says, "Ron, you got to get back here. We need someone to run the Vortex program for the church. They're expecting us to launch Vortex for all the entire congregation and all the supporters of our church."
Wow.
So we're ready to launch that.
Yes. And see, the service gives you credibility. And see, that's why, you know, of course, it's deeper than us just coming here. It's a whole nother story. But there's way more to it than I'm sharing with you guys, you know, us being here. It's deep. It's deep. It's a promotion. See, when you actually do something on a consistent basis, there's a promotion behind a door that comes to you. And that door may appear as something you may be afraid to walk through. Walk through it. That's your promotion. That's from all the sweat, blood, and tears and efforts and everything that we're doing on these calls and meeting and doing presentations and getting no's and yeses and, you know, maybe so's. That's all of that coming together to promote you to the next level. This almost has nothing to do with Surge, has nothing to do with nothing. It has everything to do with us moving to our next place. One of the reasons we're here is because of being able to make a decision, like you said, choices and decisions, so that we could be mobile, free to go where we needed to go. When we needed to go, we dropped everything to come to Page, Arizona. You hadn't even heard of really of Page, Arizona. But we dropped everything, said, we'll go. Why? Because we've got a foundation and we've got a base from YTB, from Surge, from you guys, you know, our friends, our business associates, our strength, our prayer, you know, we have a base that we can launch to go anywhere that's needed. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing. That is amazing right there. And that's everybody on this call. You know, Darlene has a home, but Darlene actually has a base where, and she does, she went to Mexico by herself. She can go anywhere she desires. We're building a base. of safety, of financial security, of generational wealth that frees us. It's a freedom. That's what we're working towards. We're all working toward freedom that will allow us to do and to go and to lift up and to serve anywhere we're called. Wow, that's heavy duty. Anybody?
Well, you
Hey,
know,
Ron, I
we
was
got.
going to say that. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mariano.
Ron, what I was going to say is as you recover, if there's anything that you need help with, the church launching the Vortex, realize that you've got the rest of us there to help you if you need it. And don't be afraid to ask.
Thank you so much, guys. That's so reassuring. And yeah, we're right in the point. Last week was the first week back in church since the cruise and then my week stay in the hospital. So now we're back and we'll be back full fledged. I went to the cardiologist this morning, and so we got everything set up for me to get myself totally healthy and moving forward. But
Chantel, say a quick
Ron,
prayer for Ron.
Ooh, Father, we just want to thank you right now for what you have already done in Ron and Linda Clayton, and this faith that is beyond our understanding, that they just keep believing that you are going to bring them through to their destiny, that you have already planned for them. So we speak healing,
Yes.
total restoration in this man and this woman, so they can run around the world some more and enjoy the life you have prepared for them, and the dues they have paid, the lives they are impacting. We give you praise right now, Jesus. We just want to thank you right now, Jesus, for even your presence in this place called home. We thank you for choosing us. You chose us before we were born, and you said, this is the mission assignment I have for you. So Ron and Linda, we give God praise for you. He has chosen you. Run on, and keep on blessing and serving lives, and let God lead the way. For great is his faithfulness to you every day. Every day he's going to be with you all the way. In Jesus'
Run on and run strong.
To the
well, as a matter of fact, when we get off the leadership call, I got to talk to Odenza. That's the company that gives us the 7-day stay for running our business for a year, and we've been awarded another certificate. And we're taking my sister and brother-in-law, whose life in their marriage was, there's no other way to put it, a hellhole. And through the love and caring and extension of people from this business, they got hooked. We got them started. Now they're on their 8th cruise. They just came back with us. They're planning our next trip. They're gonna go with us when we go on the 7-day stay. That we got to lock down when we're going, but they're coming with us with that. And they just love hanging around, and they've just been so supportive. They love you, all of you. They know about you. You may not know it. There's a couple that aren't even in business with us to take advantage of us. They referred customers. We've booked a number of cruises with people they've referred us to, and we've done a lot of things. So we obviously we want to pray the best for them too. But I want you to know this changed their life around.
Ron has changed his sister and brother-in-law's life. Like he said, the marriage was on the rocks, and Ron and Linda got them on a cruise, and this now is their 8th cruise.
They renewed their vows on board the Carnival of Liberty.
They renewed their vows. But I think Shaq was the minister there, and they renewed their vows, and their marriage is strong. Now they call them lovebirds. Ron, you and Linda, that's what you guys did. You know, of course, the Lord working through you to do that. But you talk about travel changing lives. That's the power that we have. We have the power to change and impact lives. And what's beautiful is it's nothing specific. You find out real time based on what comes to you. Okay, I got to impact this person. You know, you'll start getting that feeling, okay, there's something I got to do here.
Be now aware.
Go ahead.
We know it well, like a pastor that was sitting on Facebook, and I was watching her. I didn't know this lady, but I saw her impact in the community. And I don't remember which hurricane that had hit in Florida, but she was sitting in her car crying out to her community who was not responding. And my heart just went wide open as I was talking to her. I said, we got to do something. This lady is sitting here, and she had tried to get in the hotels. They were booked solid. And I said, you know what? After this conversation, we went in there, went inside our site and booked her some rooms in the hotel that she was sitting right in front of. Didn't ask her for a penny. Didn't ask her for anything.
Wow.
And it's just a gift that we have in us called love. That could have been me or you or any of our children, anybody.
Yes.
And I don't know what's going on with that pastor today, but I can guarantee you, if she's on earth, she's still impacting lives.
Wow.
And that's what we have here. If Adrian had not been pushing so hard up on us, and I believe we would have come along eventually. But that one day she was pushing so hard, like, you got to get to this meeting today.
And she don't even push that hard. Think about it. She don't even push that hard.
This is what
but
I'm
there
saying.
was something about it.
Heard her like that. And something in me leap said, I said, Glenn, I think we need to get to this meeting today. I feel something saying we need to get to this meeting. And he said, go ahead and go. I got to go into the office. He's real estate agent. And he said, go ahead and go, because we had really already made a decision. It's like, because we've done business before. But I'm telling you, when we got inside that room, because he was right there with me, that's the way it is. And Willie Tillman was sitting there too. Look, Willie Tillman was supposed to be going to work that day. And he said, you know what? I'm calling in. And we were
I'm calling in well. I'm calling in well.
He called in, baby, that day. He said, I'm
calling in
not
well
from this seat. And when Arlen Thompson opened her mouth and started saying something that we had already decided years ago with our family, that we were going to build a legacy that was generations deep, that was going to bless them, to help them continue to go out here in community, because that's who we have raised. They're community builders. To go out here to help somebody get up. And if we could just slow them down a little bit with that sometimes. But you can go and have some fun in your life, but how about getting a check on the other side of it? I said, what? You mean to tell me you about to give us a check that is going to allow us to sometimes pay mortgage, car notes, medical bills, help a little child out with some supplies at school, put a check in the pastor's hand, hello, which we've done more than one time, to help build community, and many more pastors and organizations. This is Glenn and I. Just Glenn and I. I'm not going to even get into what our daughter's doing, what our son has done. I'm just talking about the Aiden, West Coast Aidens. This is our impact. Just the five of us right here.
Wow.
That's what we've already done.
So let me expand on that, because what I was going to say and what I am going to say is the people on this call know who you are. I mean, we know who we are. We've been on this wall for life. We are champions. Every single one of you, and each and every story is so inspirational when it all comes together as a group, and you know that you are chosen. And that's what it takes. Somebody's got to pay the price. And now we are positioned to really, that self-actualization of why I was born, why am I here? This is where we are right now. This is our time. Our pastor says you can read the Bible and all that, but you had Moses and David. Guess what? You are here now. This is your time. This is our time to make our mark, and we are doing it. Know that you're a hero, a champion, champion and chosen. Back to you, Rick.
Man, that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Hey, Rick, can I chime in real fast?
Go right ahead, please.
Hey, so Chantel, when you were talking, it made me think of this charity here in Kansas City when you're talking about the lady from your church, and their motto is people looking for a hand up, not a hand out. And that just really struck me when you were talking about the lady from your church, that motto. And also a quote I got this week is the most blah, blah, blah. Here I go, spit talking. Good grief, I'll get there eventually, guys. The most important thing I got is what I give.
Ooh, that's good.
So
I like that.
those are two things that just really popped in my head when Chantel was talking. So back to you.
Got to write that down.
That's what a lot of people, we learned over time. You remember the series out, The Secret, the book, The Secret? They taught the secret, the secret. It's no secret. The thing is, people are unwilling to do it. You know what the secret is? To give.
Amen.
Amen. That's the secret.
It's no secret. They're just not unwilling to do it.
Man, so that is exactly why we're in Page. Can you imagine what we're gonna, not that we do things just to get, but can you imagine your what you're saying is on the other side of your obedience, what you give. You give in based on obedience. And not that, of course, we did this for that, but can you imagine the promotion from the sacrifice that God has set us up to do, because we couldn't have set ourselves up to do it. But
you had to sacrifice all that seafood you've been eating.
From the 9th of April to the 11th of June, and all the benefits in between. All the benefits in between. Brenda's brother says, hey, it's your birthday on the 22nd of May. Go to Vegas. I got it all. I'll take care of everything. And he took care of everything. And he gave her spending money and this, that, and the other, and not a dime came out of our pocket. And that's not, we were planning to be on a cruise though, the Mediterranean cruise. Ron, that's why, we make decisions. We were supposed to be with Ron and Linda and the team, the Hope team, on the cruise that they were on. But then Brenda said, no, I want to go on a Mediterranean cruise. And not knowing, we're not running nothing. God is in charge of your timeline.
He
of
needed
everything that you do. Who would have thought Ron, that we would be in Page while you guys were on the cruise?
You were nowhere near any water.
And that we couldn't have been on the cruise because our assignment was in Page. This thing is planned out so far in advance, it ain't even funny. That's why, who is that said you got to listen? Was that so? Who's that said you have to listen?
Darlene.
Darlene said you have to listen to your instructions so that you can be sure path to know that you are moving in the right direction where your provision is. Adrian listened to really hound Glenn and Chantel to be at that meeting, because she normally doesn't do that. That's outside of her character to really just hound you. Can't hound you unless she is motivated internally. And look at the result of her obedience to that. It has just birthed a whole next generation. Man, all of us have people inside that are waiting for us to be birthed. And we have to, like Darlene said, and like Adrian demonstrated, we have to listen, and then follow those instructions. Many times and most times when we work outside of listening, it's to no avail. It's out of sync. Every single time, like Chantel seeing the pastor on the side of the road and helping her out, and know that you gave her life to keep going, when she was probably at a point to give up. And then God heard her prayers and you gave her life without asking anything. Here's rooms for you, not just room. Here's rooms for you. Man, that's why I'm successful in church. That's why we're successful in church. I was talking to Chris. And Chris was saying he gets requests from many countries, from Europe, Africa, saying, hey, bring a contingent of your travel agents. We will, quote unquote, wine them and dine them so that they can see everything that we have to offer. Chris said, I can bring 1,000 agents into a country in Africa, let's say, because he's getting requests all the time. And on their dime, people who are ready to go, learning about that country, the customs, the foods, the da-da-da, what they have to, people can see the tour, because everybody wants to get into tourism now. Tourism is huge. And we at Surge 365 are king and queen makers. We bring a contingent of 1,000 travel agents into any country to learn about what that country is offering. They come back and sell that country. We are king and queen makers. He's getting requests all the time from different countries. The tourism office saying, hey, would you come and visit us and bring your travel agents? Man, are you kidding me? See,
You know,
that's what we're preparing for, huh?
That's one of those times, what Chantel's talking about with Adrian, when push has come to shove. and we're at one of those points right now. And Chantel been there all week, but push has come to shove. And when it happens, it's undeniable. And you can't stop it if you try it. And we're just at that moment when you get to that wall, and that wall turns into a door. He turns it into a door, and you get through.
Yes, sir. And you just see, this is what we tell people. Prepare when there's nothing going on for the moment that things are going to be going on. You know, the folks who have not put time into their business wouldn't be ready to be part of the 1,000 folks, 1,000 travel agents that go to a country to open the country. Like we all went to Canada. They're not going to be ready, you know, without people telling them, do this, do this. Go into your back office, learn what you get. It's your business. Become that professional. Like Glenn says all the time, 10 years, you become a professional, an expert, or whatever. You got it down pat. Take that time of nothing happening that you think to learn, to understand, so that when the push comes to the shove and the wall becomes the door, that you're ready to walk through it. Right? That's why Brenda and I can come to Paige and find out what we get here. We'll find out. That's why the people on this call can go to whatever country, Europe or Africa, Asia, you know, as a contingent with Humanity to say, hey, we're here. What do you have? What you got? And we know that we know that we know that we know. But anyhow, I think we're at the time here that we want to wrap up. Anybody have anything they want to share before we wrap up?
Yes, I just want to say.
And I actually go into work.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the compliments and all. And like you never know who will respond to you, you know, and even just inviting people. I'm just so grateful that Chantel and Glenn took that invite and that look at them today. So you never know who's gonna take the bite and move forward. And so I'm really proud of you all and all that you all doing. You're great leaders and all. So
You're trying to get me crying, y'all.
That's special. That's special.
But I'm also I have to put my business hat on because I've always been an employee and not employer. And so I've been taking business classes to help me out a little bit.
Nice.
And so
good.
One thing that good point last night was you all were talking about beliefs. And so the point was made that beliefs is sometimes what holds us back also, because sometimes, you know, you believe things and then you walk on it, but sometimes your beliefs are not always correct, because he gave an example
You can believe I'm not a good salesman. But the point was made that if you flip that belief and you say, I'm a good salesman, then things go better and you can be successful. And then the other good point was that with beliefs, a belief gives birth to behavior, and behaviors give birth to results, and results gives birth to success. So then once whatever you believe, you're going to act on, your behavior will reflect that. And then your results will show it. But if you're successful and keep doing things, the end result is success. And so that's what we've seen, especially with the Aidens, because that strong belief does help. So back to you. I just wanted to share that because I thought that was really a good point.
Oh, that's powerful. That's good.
Once you believe, I think you have to believe to get started. But once you know, it's a whole different ball game. It's
right
on steroids.
Believe.
And we're looking forward to the day that you and Willie cross that stage as the director and whatever level you decide. That's what we're looking forward to. Thank you, sponsor and our friend, because I don't think Willie, when I tell you a friend, I don't think Willie and Adrian has attended just about every family event, birthings, weddings. I'm talking about driving hours and everything else pretty much that we have been, how many dinners, all this, it's relationship over 20 years. We just want to say thank you for your diligence and your love and your kindness. That is very generous. Big time. Beyond the business. And that's how we support each other, and that's how we do life together. That's part of doing life together, I feel like.
Kumbaya, my Lord. No, but it really is family, though. You know, that was one of the statements that I created for the restaurant. Your family here. Your family here. So kick off your shoes and, pull up a chair and get in front of some old catfish and shrimp and grits.
Hey, Rick, I was watching Guardians of the Universe. Is it that movie #2? And sometimes you'll be sitting and you'll see something that will just crack you up. Towards the end of that movie, one of the antagonists said, "You guys are not friends. All you do is argue." And then this guy looks at him and says, "You're right. We're not friends. We're family, and we're not leaving anybody behind."
Hey, that's the truth. That's the truth. One of the things I will say as we close here, Adrian, your inner conversation creates your outer reality. And what you see Brenda and I do, and you hear us say all the time, and you guys see the result of that inner conversation and the things that we do as we post traveling things, as we say that, I override millions through referral and through contracts that I set up, even outside of Surge. We're creating an outer reality. And so I would say to the folks on this call, the outer reality that you see is a shadow of your inner conversation. Change the inner conversation, and that reality will change. Whatever it is, it's totally wide open, whatever you want. And that will come through the affirmations, that will come through the statements, that will come through your declarations. Your imagination is a preview of life's coming attractions. That's what you see Brenda and I do. And that's what gives us the freedom to do whatever it is we choose, as God has given us the insight and the imagination. And as a result, we're creating our life. Create your life. Create your life. It just waits for you. You're not a victim of it. Get in front and lead it and watch what happens. Like you were saying, good morning, Chris. Say what you mean what you say, and watch what happens as a creation. You want success in the business. It's not just Surge. It's success in life. If you want success in Surge, this all happened when we became millionaires in Surge, coming from nothing. It was a creation. Everything you see us do is a creation. Mariano was the first to witness it. It was a creation, you know. And those who get ahead are the ones who can internalize and create and visualize and then walk into it. Ooh, that's heavy duty stuff, but that's the way things really work. That's the way things really work. It's not your effort, it's your creative ability, which leads to, like you said, Adrian, your belief leads to the behaviors, leads to the results, and to the success. After your beliefs, you have an impulse based on that belief of specific things to do. You do those specific things and you bring in a Glenn and Chantel. You bring in a Rick Reeves, you bring in a Mariana, you know, you bring in a Darlene, you bring in a Chris, you bring in a Ron. Ron will tell the story. You know, we didn't even know each other, you know, but impulse through various players, Joel Griffin, one of our mentors, you know, you need to meet Rick, you need to meet Ron. How does that even happen? See, when we begin to understand how things really work, it's all internal. And then the impulse is external, which leads to the results and the success. See, Brenda and I got that down to a science. When you see me posting these travel pictures, because I am a travel guru by declaration.
And a shutter
I am a
bug.
multimillionaire by declaration. I don't have to chase it. See, once you understand this, you're not chasing it. It's coming to you. And you're in a relaxed state and it's coming to you. And now you're just looking and saying, oh, okay, I'll do that. I'll go to Paige. Paige, you guys will see, Paige was actually a promotion in wealth, as well as health, as well as relationship, as well as life. Because it's walking unafraid into whatever God has for you as an unknown and allowing him to do what he desires to do in the unknown, not in the known. Many of us don't venture out of the known, but in the unknown is where you find your life, in the unknown, because now God brings all possibilities to bear, because we're not so predispositioned to do this, that. No, now it's whatever it is, you know. And so we come to Paige and it's like, whatever it is. And in that, everything is environment rich. I mean, we're finding everything we need in that unknown. It's the most amazing thing in life. Back to anybody.
You know, once you get your reputation out there, which it is, you know, across the states and around the world, then people know and they trust. I mean, your situation now may be family, but your brother-in-law was wise enough to know that you and Brenda are what he needed.
Man.
And he was willing to pay the cost, and it's paid off. It's a win-win. Send our love to Brenda, by the way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I want to add this also. The stages and places that we're also in, Glenn and I have gotten ourselves back to the gym.
Nice.
We are looking at, we take supplements. Everybody in this house takes supplements. We're not playing with the quality of our life. That's somewhere back in the past. That is a decision that everybody on earth should make today. The quality of life is the decision we make. Okay, if I can't go to the gym, can I get a bike in my house? Can I do some walking and play? What can I do that is going to sustain me, you and I, to get this mission assignment completed on this earth in health and longevity in the right mind? It's some steps that we have to take. It's urgent. What are we eating? What's eating us? That's inner. Again, what's eating on us? It's okay to deal with it. Deal with the issues. Get the help you need, because we all have it. We're dealing with it every day, one way or another, becoming the champions that we already are. It's going to take some healthy people, healthy mindsets. Stay in with the team. Don't disappear. Even when you're dealing with tough things in life, don't disappear. Because any of us can choose to do that. Don't run away because I'm dealing with something. We all need the support. That's what we're here for. We're lifting each other. But their health piece is urgent right now. I just wanted to throw that in there because we love you too much.
Yeah, the champion is more than a title.
That's good.
Champion is usually the one, ask me how I know. The champion is usually the one that outworked everybody else, out-prepared. The first one there, the last one to leave, that's who becomes the champion. And people want the title without paying the cost. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to outwork me to take my title.
You know, Glenn, I got to tell you, Glenn, you, my friend, are a speaker. You're a speaker, man. You holding out. You holding out, man. You have some wisdom to share that needs to be heard for such a time as now. And you holding out, man.
There's no more holding out. All things revealed in his timing.
You're blessing us. You're blessing
But I
us.
appreciate the support. We are a team, and we are supporting, lifting each other.
You are blessing us, and I know that at your church, you are a speaker. You know what I mean? That has a different level of wisdom than everybody talking except your pastor. You know, I'll leave it at that. But you
know
are
what I'm
very,
gonna say? It's bigger than that.
well, okay. Here's what I want.
But yes,
Here is a unlocking a door is moving into that bigger. You know what I mean? Like real time. Unlocking the door. Like when we made the decision to come to Page, we had to go override stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but once we made that decision, it moved into a download like the matrix of all that was needed. And so that's like even like yourself, you know, that bigger than even the church, making that decision, everything that you need is downloaded with that decision. But thanks for praying for Ron and Linda. Powerful prayer, Chantel. You know, everybody on this call, man, is built for leadership at another level.
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
Let me just clarify one thing. When I said it's bigger than that, I meant bigger than the four walls, not bigger than the church.
No. What I took when you meant by what you said is it's more international.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Global.
Yeah. That's what I took that as that. Not even just the four walls. That's part of it, but it's international.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, man, we in agreement.
Real quick, Chantel, you're making me think too much today. But one other quote I got: focus on the quality of life, and the quantity of life will come. And so, you know, you're making me get too deep, Chantel. But all this stuff keeps popping my head every time she talks today. But on this note too, for me, like Rick, you were talking about inner turmoil, we'll call it. 2 years ago, it'll be 2 years ago in November, I was invited to go on a big trip to Thailand with one of my clients. 3 weeks, about 80% paid for. Well, they had a funeral in the family and had to go back to Thailand about 2 months ago. And I was like, okay. So I told my son, I'm like, hey, what do you want to do this summer? I think this Thailand thing's going to fall through. And they get back and he's like, well, Kane's like, let's go to California. So we start kind of putting together. I go, you know, this is kind of a backup plan. It may not go through. And so we're looking at San Francisco and national parks and things like that out there. And now I talked to Tony and I said, the guy I was supposed to go to Thailand with, and I said, you know, are we still going? He's like, yes, we're leaving in mid-September. And I said, well, I said, I understand you have a business run, you have money to make, you can't, they own a restaurant. If they're in Thailand, they can't make money. And I said, don't feel you have to take me now. We can do this anytime. And deep down, I'm almost hoping, I gave him to the 1st of June. So next week, basically, I said, you know, I have to know by this day, but deep down, I'm almost hoping he canceled because I'm kind of more excited to take this week trip with my son and spend 3 weeks in Thailand at 80% paid for. So I don't know, just keep kind of that in your prayers, I guess, because I don't want to back out because they paid for my ticket and everything already. But if they have to cancel, that's different than me backing out. So that's kind of my.
Yeah,
Deep down, I think yes, Rick. In all honesty, deep down, I want them to be like, hey, we just can't swing it this year. Let's do it next year. But like I said, I gave my word I'd do it. They bought my ticket. I don't want to cancel out. You know.
God's got the perfect route.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, he's got the perfect route. I like the idea of the relationship piece. And so pray the relationship piece.
Yes.
And watch what happens. You know, I don't know. I live with that kind of certainty. You know, you pray the relationship piece and be willing to know that however that works out, you're going to be in the place where God wants you to be. But I would pray the relationship piece that God, you know, spending time with your son is the most important thing. Everything else is really neither here nor there, even though they paid for your ticket. Yeah, it's all good, you know. But the relationship piece, you can't recapture that. You can always recapture the other piece. And if they're really, you know, business with you, they'll continue to do business with you. But the window of the relationship is a window. You know, us coming to Page was a window. Could have been on a cruiser run. But us coming to Page was a window with Brenda's brother that will be forever remembered. And like somebody was saying, it reverberates beyond Page, Arizona. The time you spend with your son is a time that will reverberate beyond business in Thailand. You know,
and we have with little weekend contingencies, but it's not going to be the trip we plan for.
Yeah. You know, I mean, hey,
that makes sense. Yeah,
do it. Man, if it was me, I'd say, okay, something has come up that has superseded. Even though I said buy my ticket, I'm sorry. Something has come up that I got to do. And if they can't understand it, they can't understand it. But if God's with you, there's no impact. You bless it good, and it's good. You know, I would bless anything good and it's good. But anyhow, Brenda would be saying, "Wait, you know what time it is, right?" She's my timekeeper. She's not here. She's actually working. But anyhow, hey, it's been a blessing. You're right. Chantel has given us some serious thought, food for thought. I wrote down your 3 quotes, Chris. They're mine now. And as Brenda would say, we are the most trusted team, best team in Surge 365. We say that, but we know that we are a Surge 365 family. And so we're actually saying that for all of Surge 365. But join us tonight. We're going to be doing a presentation, special presentation that talks about the travel products. You know, not just doing the actual presentation, but talking about the Vortex, the membership, the travel agency. And then I may jump back to the presentation to do the compensation. But if you can, 8 o'clock Eastern, we'll see you tonight. God bless everybody.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Yes.
Have a good day.